Good morning. I'm going to get the date right today. It's Friday, everybody, September 27th.
That's
just to be clear. We have a hurricane that came in. We're talking about EV tariffs, ads in the NFL, and Mr. Beast's Playbook.
There you go.
We have a copy.
To answer your question,
Before we started the show,
went live.
right before we went live, I was like, you wearing a hoodie? And then the music started playing.
I got a hoodie. Look, well, one, we're getting the outskirts of this wild hurricane that we'll talk about in just a second, but we're getting the outskirts of it. So it's like, it's cooled down. It's a little bit of rain. We didn't have rain for like 3 weeks, and now it's rain for 4 days straight. So yeah, I got the hoodie.
I have like this little like sweater thing going today. It's got buttons
Look at
and
you.
everything.
Look,
It's cooled down a little bit.
This guy's got a cardigan.
I feel a little bit when I put on something like this, I'm like, I guess I'm at that point in my life now where this is the garment of choice.
Yeah.
I'm channeling my inner Mr. Rogers.
Look, my wife calls me Mr. Rogers because I got my little shoe, home office. I got my little shoes on here. Your office shoes I flip them off when I walk out. Yeah. It's great.
I'm the same way. I don't like just sitting at a desk working in like socks. I don't know.
Oh, I
don't like it.
I can't do it.
That's so funny. I didn't know that about you. I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Like, what are we even doing
I
here?
work from home and I throw shoes on when I come upstairs. Like,
yeah, it's like we're not sitting here doing fantasy football. I'm working.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Football. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do. Oh man. Well, a lot's going on. The biggest thing going on is the hurricane that's affected 3.5 million people are still without power. Damages obviously still being assessed as the storm, hit Florida. Now it's making its way through Georgia, the Carolinas. It's on its way to hit Nashville. And so if you're dialed, I know a lot of dealerships have closed. Some said they were going to reopen today. We'll see, I guess, what happens. But if you're dealing with some hard times, like lean on your people. We're here for you however we can. And if you have the ability and you're in the auto industry, we know you do this anyway, but this is a great opportunity to serve the community.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see. I mean, I just don't trust the Weather Channel. I mean, I don't trust this is a legit category 4.
Yeah,
right.
It hit hard. I mean, I saw some of the videos and images, but
Yeah, but I mean, in like the lead up, right?
Yeah,
because like it could just be like a little shower, and they got a guy faking that he's being blown over out there.
No.
But this one's real super legit.
And it's all right. It's like
late
hit
in
Atlanta
too.
Yeah, it hit Atlanta, and
did
it? I mean, I think they were saying it was at least a tropical storm up in Atlanta still. So pretty heavy winds.
Glasson said it was crazy in Atlanta for a bit. He was there, but all good. Hope others do well too.
Yeah,
Atlanta can handle that, but you know what it can't handle?
Snow.
A 1/16 of an inch of snow. It can dump 5 inches of rain, no problem. No problem. I'm so not looking forward to this part of the travel season. This is
we're getting
there.
You're right. Yeah, every single plane flight is like, that was a little chippy.
Yep. And in Syracuse, it's like, oh, we got to de-ice again.
Oh, there it is. Always 15 minutes late.
We'll get through it. Let's actually, I want to talk about something here.
Okay.
Tell the people about the ASOTU Edge webinar while I go grab something on the other side of my office.
Okay. We're doing an ASOTU Edge webinar next Friday, October 4th at 2 p.m. All about keeping the ship on course by aligning marketing and store processes. We're going to be talking to Wikimotive and Tommy Car Auto Group about some of the stuff that they've done to keep the ship on course. You're not going to want to miss it. You can go to asotu.com, scroll down, boom, register. Make sure you're there. Hang out with us on a Friday. And if you can't make it, you register, you get the link afterwards.
Oh, so beautiful thing. I made it back. That was good, savvy production from Nathan, our head of production, who just cut to the side screen. I took my ears out. I went over there, came back. It looks like I never left. So this is our sample print shirt.
Oh.
Right? So we got all kinds of graphics on this More Than Cars shirt. This is where we test, we have these where
test
we test
theories.
Things.
Yeah.
And test theories, but this one is not a test. We've just started offering custom Love People More Than You Love Cars t-shirts branded with the dealership. And, Beaver Toyota made the post where we did, 500-600, all of their people, sales, service, office. We have different color combos. It's amazing. And this is in production today.
Oh boy.
For our friends at
Give it to them. at Riverhead Mazda. Look at that.
Yep.
That is
all of their going to be rocking these. And this one, we have a nice kind of like Mazda silver love people with a white Riverhead Mazda. Thank you, our good friend Michael Lutsky is how you say it, actually.
Lutsky. Look at that.
Lutsky. Yeah, it's
Lutsky.
And so, hey, if you're interested in getting custom dealership,
you can let us know.
Just hit us up. Yeah, send us an email to crew, CREW at ASOTU.com. We have volume pricing, and we'll mock up what your store looks like on there. And I was thinking when I was coming in this morning, what a great Christmas gift. I know we're talking about Christmas gift, but everyone's always like, what do we do for our team? What an awesome way to like give everybody a thing.
All these wonderful shirts. That's a great idea.
But put your orders in early because, like, you know what? We're not a big.
Don't get real. We're not a full.
We need the heads
warehouse.
But we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Speaking of getting there,
hey.
Now I didn't see this talked about anywhere in the news, but this is news to us. The new tariffs, the ones that we've been talking about, that initially were part of the Trump administration, they put in place, and the Biden administration leaned into it. They go into effect today. Today is the day. The 100% tariff on Chinese EVs goes into effect. It affects 14 categories of Chinese goods, not just EVs, including 50% tariff on solar cells, 25% on key materials like steel, aluminum, lithium-ion batteries. Basically, the tariffs are expected in 2025 to increase on electronics such as laptops and cell phones. So like this gets heating up, but it starts with the EVs, folks.
Tell you what.
Chinese EVs only account for 2% of US EV imports. And they've threatened retaliation, labeling the tariffs as bullying and escalating, the global trade war, not a real war, a trade war. White House economic advisor Lael Brainerd said the tariff on vehicles does reflect a significant cost advantage that Chinese EVs have to dominate the market and flood the market potentially with Chinese EVs. So this has been the topic of conversation. It dropped out of the news once they made the decision, and now it's the 27th. And like, I don't know what happens. Like,
well, I think what happens is you definitely don't see BYD coming anytime soon, right? Like they're just looking at us over from Mexico being like, that was cool and stuff, but we're not coming over there. So you can't get cheap EVs from us.
Well, Europe is working on legislation right now to do the same thing. It was supposed to go in effect right away, but apparently it's gotten like delayed by a couple of weeks. I know it. Yeah.
Which is also wild. But this one is definitely going to have more impact on regular goods. Key materials, lithium-ion batteries at the semiconductors where when we look at our like light electronics, we're going to have a lot more impact. But this is going to, that 2% is definitely not going to grow quickly. And when you look at Chinese manufacturing, they've figured out how to do low cost EVs. And so we're just not going to see that in the US market for a bit longer, most likely.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know if you noticed this. There's like an election going to happen like 6 weeks.
Oh, really?
Did you notice that?
One of those things?
I know.
Wow.
That may or may not have something to do with what happens after November.
It could impact this for sure.
Could potentially. Speaking of impact,
big impact.
Impact sport. Automakers are definitely ramping up their advertising spend during the NFL season this year. After a few years of reduced activity, brands like Toyota, Hyundai, and some Detroit automakers betting big on live sports, especially NFL games, to capture that very dedicated consumer attention. Increased by 17% year over year in the last two seasons and is now keeping growing. Last NFL season, 44% of automotive ad spend on national TV was dedicated to NFL programming. That's amazing.
Wow.
Compared to 31% in other areas. Toyota is now the official partner of the NFL, and GM plans to boost ad spending by $400 million in the second half. That's in the second half. I mean, like, of the season, of the next few months, to promote new vehicle launches. They actually have some really great stuff to talk about, the Silverado EVs and all that. NFL broadcast, I mean, you can't beat the NFL traffic. 17.9 million viewers on average, with the Super Bowl drawing 123.7 million viewers. That's about everybody.
I'm telling you, it's just a cash cow. Like, it just keeps printing money. We love our football, and the advertisers know it. You know,
Yeah.
like there's no way to get around it. And now you see all the NIL deals happen at the college level, right? It just
Oh my
trickles
gosh.
down into that. I mean, it is just insane. And I think that the biggest thing for me here is look at what your manufacturer is doing, see if you can parlay off of that.
Coattail that sucker.
Coattail that sucker. A lot of people, a lot of people don't make direct buys on, you know, like post ad runs, right? Toyota OEM run, parlay that into tier 3 run, maybe in the next commercial break or even immediately after it, especially if you have a great brand story to tell and it connects to the OEM. Like that parlay, if you are running linear advertising, is a really great way to increase eyeballs on your brand and your dealership.
You couldn't have said it better myself. You know, I wonder, like, some of my favorite Super Bowl ads from car companies have been the Hyundai ads. I think Smart Pack is one of my favorites ever. But Angela Zapata, who was the CMO, she's not with Hyundai anymore. So we'll see what they come up with on the Super Bowl. Did you see where she went? She's the global brand director for X now.
Wow.
Did you know that?
That's
so it's
nuts.
like, I think that means that we're like one step removed now from Elon Musk on multiple fronts.
Well, but if you think of it, like, he knew all about her, right? Like, it's not like they weren't paying attention. So it makes sense how that connection kind of happened, I'm sure.
I know, but I like some automotive influence up in the social media world. It's a good thing. Speaking of the social media world,
speaking of that,
all right, end the week on a good, strong 2 segues in a row.
Look, Mr. Beast, if you don't know him, where you been? YouTube's biggest star is now making waves as a thought leader in the tech world. He leaked a workplace guide. His name is obviously Jimmy Donaldson, and it has caught the attention of a bunch of Silicon Valley execs, sparking conversations about leadership, productivity, and intense work expectations. It's a 36-page guide that investor Mark Cohen said it feels like it's written by a person rather than a corporation. So definitely a personal type feel letter.
For sure.
Emphasizing hiring A players who are obsessive, coachable, and the best in their field. He expects workers to be laser focused, demanding radical accountability and a no excuses approach to their work. It recently has just been compared to this new founder mode, a hands-on management style popular in the tech industry. While some are praising it, its intensity, others criticize it for promoting a grueling work culture. So, you know, you're always going to have two sides of the coin, but the results definitely prove out something.
So if you, I read it this morning. You can go to the show notes today, and the link is in the show notes, and you can just download the PDF. So you should do it because it's an interesting read. It gives you an insight into just how like the best social media YouTuber in the world thinks about engagement, because they actually have some graphs and charts like, hey, this is how we tell whether something's good or not. They talk about the first minute of the video. They talk about some things about lighting in the first minute of the video, but a lot of it, most of it is about this culture. And it definitely seems obsessive, and you can understand how it reflects Jimmy's personality. And he said, basically, this is an interesting thing in there. He said, really, the goal is to come up with concepts that get me excited. He's like, because if I'm not excited to do it, it's going to come across in the content. So I like that he's not afraid to say like, hey, like this is built on my instinct. And if I can't get excited about it, then we're going to keep moving. Also obviously a vulnerability, but the brand is him.
Sure.
He is the brand. I mean, the two sides of the coin, grueling work culture. I mean, people get to choose whether or not they want to work there. And I think this document makes it very clear front and center. This is a high intensity, high accountability culture.
What I would say I appreciate about it is he picked a lane. He said, this is who we are.
Yeah.
This is who works here. And this is how we do things. Right. Yep. And if you can, as a business owner, a manager, communicate that clearly over and over to your employees and the entire team, like that's what you weed out, like who it is, right? It's similar to ideal customer profile. If you can determine who your ideal customer profile is, you might get some people saying no, but that's okay if you're super strong and resilient with that customer. It's same thing with your employee and your employees and team.
Yeah, there's a lot of good in there. You should read it. They have one principle called pushing through no. And he goes, give examples. Like just because you get a no, that does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that no is the answer. And it's just that is startup
all about
entrepreneurial resistant persistence. Reminds me a lot of the persistence of a lot of the people we know and why they've been able to build businesses that take care of so many people. You go take care of some people. It's Friday. We got a good Saturday ahead.